We'll start with the prelude with Edie and Scott. Hello. There we go. Thank you again, Edie and Scott, for your wonderful easing in music. I love it. Good morning. Buenos dias. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Charlotte County. My name is Lori Douglas. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your worship associate for today, along with a cast of several. Unfortunately, my co-partner, Sarah S., is home. Some of the youth have gotten COVID, and she's the youth leader, and she's been exposed, so she didn't want to come and, let that travel around. So we welcome a different cast of several. Whether you are here in the sanctuary, joining us from home, visiting for the first time, returning from away, welcome. Whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, your presence matters here. As we continue, here are a few reminders that help our service run smoothly for everyone here in the sanctuary and also those at home. We're being broadcast live on the YouTube, and the recording will be available on our UUFCC YouTube, which, hi everybody, there's a camera up there, which for privacy concerns, we only use first names and last initials when we remember. It's a good time to put your phones in meditation mode. And we do have hearing assistance devices available in the back by Tom with the tech team. Tom is the tech team today, by the way. For those of us virtually, hello again. You may wish to have a chalice or a candle for our chalice lighting ritual. Now, please rise in body and or spirit and join us with hymn number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. Beautiful. As we settle in together, we now turn to the life of the community, our announcements and invitations for the week ahead. If you have any brief announcements, please make your way up here by me. And Ted, you come up here. Others, come on up, and we'll be good. Yeah, come on up here.
I want to speak to the younger people about a problem that we have. And since I'm one of the oldest people in the congregation, that means practically everybody who's here. The issue is the Social Justice Committee, which has had quite a history in this congregation. And right now, we are having a struggle trying to accomplish things. We're being very limited in what we can do. Our most recent chairman, Randy, came forward, volunteered, did a good job, tried very hard to get things accomplished, and we owe him a thank you message because he really tried. But he didn't get the support that would have made it easier, and we could have done more. One of the things that came to my mind is during the lighting of the chalice, frequently we mention that we have a statement that we give out, and two phrases stand out in my mind. One is, service is our law, and to help one another. This is what we need people to do, to step forward and help, to be of service. We do that with our second helpings. We try to find people who have seen a problem, who have come forward and are dealing with that problem, but they need help. They come, you want to see a leader? Come listen to the people from these groups who come and speak to us. If you want to see a leader in our congregation, people who have come forward to serve and to help. Betty and what's her name? I can't think of her name. Anyway, Myrna. Betty and Myrna were approached several years ago that there was a young woman with 3 little children in a hurricane shelter with no money, no place to go, and needing help. And they came forward and organized support for that woman, and that's been going on for several years now. That woman has now married, her children are in school, and we're finally finishing the money that was raised, over $30,000, to help make that possible. So 2 people answered the call and organized more people to come and help. When we talk about leaders in our congregation, a really outstanding leader is Patrick. He is a dynamic person. I would like you, if you're thinking of wanting to help people, to be of service, this is the time to do it. You might be saying, well, I don't know how, I've never done it. I wouldn't know what to say, I wouldn't know what to do. Walk along with Patrick, and you will see a leader that is quite rare, and how effective he is, and how much good he is doing in our community. And that's something I think more of us in the congregation could join and be part of, because they're really helping people on a larger scale. And that's what we need to do, not sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. I could tell you a little story about helping. A woman came to me at one time and said that she knew my father, who was the pastor of her congregation once upon a time. And she said, I've been asked to be the leader of a women's organization in the congregation, and I don't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to say. And so what do I do? And he said, of course you can do the job. And don't say that you don't know how to talk. I've never met a woman who didn't know how to talk.
Oh.
They're lighting their torches.
And then she told me, I've been talking ever since. So take that into mind. Take that into mind. We need leaders. We need people who want to serve. We need people who want to help. Don't stand back and say, I can't do it. Yes, you can.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. I just want to say a few other things about this. The woman he was discussing was actually here gaining asylum. It was a very serious situation. And right now, we've raised another $2,000 for her for legal concerns if they start having problems here now, considering the place we're at. Also want to say something else. There are several other people, number of people in this community who also put themselves out for different causes, but don't necessarily share what that is with other people. So it probably would be nice if one day we could all kind of talk about the other organizations that we do volunteer for. I'm looking at Shelley helping the capybaras at Seco at the animal shelter. There's all kinds of interesting things people are doing and we don't know about, but they take time and they help the community. Thank you. Patrick, you have another announcement?
So briefly, with the Social Action Committee Ted mentioned, so it is always the second Sunday. So the same day we do the second helping. So the meeting will be there. So please come and join, everybody there, and your voice will be welcome. And I also briefly want to mention next Saturday is our PFLAG fundraiser, Drag Queen Bingo at Scotty's, 22nd. Be there at 6. And we are featuring Southern Cross Campus. We're to do the 50-50 for them, the wonderful organization. So right now, PFLAG is raising money for helping some of our folks are close to homelessness. So we're trying to look after them and even getting care packages, which the bin for that is outside the door. So I'm looking here at the door on the left. So if it's open, you really can't see it. But people thank you for who have been generous in bringing things in.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay. Couple other announcements. We're looking for someone to help out with our website, and please see Laura L. in the back. She's raising her hand. Look at her if you are interested. You don't have to take on the whole thing, just a piece. Thank you. And another thing, we've also postponed our Getting to Know You, and UUFCC breakfast to September. So watch for that date. If you're interested in that, we'll be there. And our membership Sunday will be in October. A delightful way to stay what's happening and stay connected around here is our updates. Some of you get those, and if you don't, let me know afterwards. They come out on Friday. And our website at uufcc.org. And if you at home have fellowship events to share, you can email us at bookoflife@uufcc.org. If this is your first time here or you're returning from time away, would love to welcome you. If you feel comfortable, please stand or wave in body and spirit and share your first name and where you're from. Hi, welcome. Here we go. Yeah, well, you get to be on the mic. Woo-hoo.
Okay, my name is Kathy H. I'm from Venice, and I'm also a founding member and on the board of directors of Venice Pride.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you. Anybody else here for the first time in the service that wants to share? Anybody else? Okay. Yes. Puppy's been here before. If you haven't met her, she's a sweetheart. Oh, my goodness. All right. Nothing else? Nothing else. Cool. All right. Before we move into the heart of this service, please take a moment to turn to somebody nearby and reach out, introduce yourself if you like, and offer a warm welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. These simple moments of connection remind us that we are part of a caring community. We help each other through hard times, and we make the good moments even better. We are in this together. And now, before we light our chalice, we pause in gratitude for all the people who help make this service and this community possible. Please raise your hand if you've worked to make this building and property a better place. I see. Oh, yep. Okay. Good job. Thank you. How about those that help make this service today happen? Who's here? Oh, yeah. Several people are doing that. Yep. Okay. How about helped out in the social hall or reached out to another person today? Yeah, there's more than that. I can see it. All right. Thank you. And to all of you here, whether in person or online, thank you for being a part of this community. Now, as Lee comes forward and lights the chalice here in the sanctuary, and those at home, like theirs, Jackie W. will come forward and share our affirmation.
Shining upon the hearts, no one left behind, is an old translation of a Tibetan line of a dedication prayer, part of a phrase that translates as all beings, not one left behind. And this is by Sang Ye. With the lighting of this flame, let us grow the radiance of joy. With the lighting of this flame, let us spark the brilliance of hope. With the lighting of this flame, let us shine upon the hearts of all those who suffer, who yearn, and who crave the joyful noise of community. All beings, not one left behind.
Thank you, Jackie. With the lighting of this flame, let us grow the radiance of joy, and not one left behind. Yes. Joseph and Lynn will now come forward and present a delightful history of UU diversity. What a perfect opening.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, we come from a people bound for freedom and determined to loosen the fetters of orthodoxy.
William Ellery Channing.
William Ellery Channing.
Declared reason and conscience to be our guides.
John Murray.
John Murray.
Survived a shipwreck and preached a gospel of love.
Eli Bellew.
Eli Bellew.
Pushed beyond the boxes of traditional Christian beliefs, preaching and teaching a fresh word in these green hills until this very church was founded 160 years ago.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of white supremacy.
Nathan Johnson.
Nathan Johnson.
A Black Universalist in New Bedford, Massachusetts, who sheltered Frederick Douglass on his first night of freedom.
James Ribb.
James Reeb.
A white minister from the North who answered the call to march from Selma to Montgomery and was met with the violence of white supremacists. His death further catalyzed the passage of the Voting Rights Act.
Yasser Barnwell.
Yasser Barnwell.
Founded the Jubilee Singers, the first Black-led Unitarian Universalist gospel choir.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of patriarchy.
Olympia Brown.
Olympia Brown.
Fought to be admitted to seminary and became the first woman ordained by a denomination in the United States. campaigned for women's suffrage until the 19th Amendment was finally ratified.
Frances Ellen Watkins Harper
Frances Ellen Watkins Harper
spoke to the National Women's Rights Convention, insisting to the largely white-led suffragettes that black women and men must not be ignored in the movement for equal treatment.
Sylvie Thygson
Sylvie Thyssen
helped to open one of the first birth control clinics in the United States in St. Paul, Minnesota, 50 years before birth control became legal.
We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of all that dehumanizes and separates us from our dignity and sacred worth.
Dorothea Dix
Dorothea Dix
visited the cells of the mentally ill in Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Louisiana, and North Carolina, bringing to light their mistreatment and working to establish humane hospitals and just laws.
Martha and Waitstill Sharp
Martha and Waitstill Sharp
worked in secret to secure passage for those persecuted by the Nazis in Europe, saving hundreds of lives.
Zach Walls.
Zach Walls
Raised by two moms, he spoke out against Iowa's attempt to ban same-sex marriage and advocated for gender equality in the Boy Scouts of America.
We continue today seeking to be truth tellers in our time.
We are bound for freedom and freedom building on foundations laid before us. Let us give thanks. These words were by Joan Javier Duval.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph and Lynn. That was just a wonderful piece, just a wonderful piece. Okay, now. What would we do without papers, right? We now enter our time of sharing joys, sorrows, and milestones, and moments that shape our lives currently and connect us more deeply as a community. First, we share from the Red Book. Do we have anything back there? Okay, thank you. People are invited, should they choose, to write instead of speak, and folks from home can send information that they want shared here in the Book of Life at UUFCC.org. Secondly, we do the same thing, but we do the tradition of dropping stones over here, and each stone represents a joy, a sorrow, or a milestone, or a prayer held in our hearts. I now invite those of you who would like to participate to come forward, drop a stone into the bowl over here, and either share briefly or aloud, and do so in silence too. Anybody interested, come on over by the wall here and share.
Good morning. My name's Lynn Cadies here in Port Charlotte, and I'm sharing a very special joy. My middle godchild in Massachusetts. I'm a crier, that's why I don't speak. Anyway, with a second marriage, she has discovered she's expecting. She just turned age 40. So this is a very big joy for her. She loves children. And we're just so happy and overjoyed that next month she'll have a baby girl named after her grandmother, Isabel.
Thank you.
I have a wonderful, just joyful story to share because I recognize that it's equality. We're celebrating equality today. And in 2004, I was a member of a congregation in Worcester, Massachusetts, and the minister came to the podium and he threw over once marriage equality was legalized in Massachusetts. And just a month later, we had our first true marriage celebration. The minister had long done commitment ceremonies. It was the first time he performed a legal marriage between the gay couple in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it was a huge celebration, and we had the most beautiful. They were social workers that had adopted this beautiful daughter. She was the flower girl, and it was just the most beautiful marriage celebration I had ever seen.
I'm Jackie D. I have a milestone to share. I finally have a job. It is part-time. I'm working in the aftercare program for a local elementary school, so I have 20-ish first graders Monday through Friday. I am waking up sore and exhausted, but it's going great, so very thankful.
In the spirit of leaving no one behind, I don't know if you read about this, but in Suncoast Humane Society, where I volunteer, there was a dog this lady was going to a yard sale. She discovered this dog that was in a cage that was probably 50 pounds underweight. It was a Doberman Pinscher who had calluses all over its back because it couldn't stand straight up. So somehow or another, she rescued this dog. Where she took this dog and took him to Suncoast Humane Society, where they started giving him treatment. And the very next day, after they advertised it, somebody came and adopted this dog and brought them into their family. So no dog should be left behind. And when you see something, you've got to do something. That's what social justice is about.
Thank you.
Well, this is for my cat Simba, who got pretty sick last week, and I'm really close to him. He's on my bed every night, so I think he's recovering, but I'm still worried. So I just thought I'd put in a prayer for his healing.
Thank you so much. These things that we share are incredible, and I just have to say, when we adopted our 9-year-old puppy 6 months ago, it's just given so much to our own lives, and it's just a wonderful thing when people step forward. Thank you. Finally, this last stone, Patrick is going to put in, thank you, Patrick, represents the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken but are still held in our hearts for whoever's there and whoever needs. May we hold these joys and sorrows and one another in love and tenderness, so that this fellowship may continue to serve and to be here in the future in the hopes, and bring those comforts and hopes along with us as we go. Thank you. We now have meditation music with Scott and Edie. So lovely. Now have the story for all ages. Jackie D's going to come up and share with us, and anyone else who is feeling youthful today or is a young person, please join us in the front over here.
Small crowd today. Hi, boys.
Some people didn't have to move.
That's true. So this story is called Everyone Belongs at the Lunch Table. Jamie's school cafeteria buzzed like a beehive at lunchtime. Trays clattered, friends laughed, and the smell of mashed potatoes drifted in the air. Jamie, who was 10 and always wore his favorite green sneakers, stood at the edge of the crowd, clutching his lunchbox. Today, something was different. Miss Carter, the lunch supervisor, greeted them with her usual bright smile. "All right, everyone. Today we're mixing things up. No more boys' table and girls' table. You can sit wherever you like, with whoever you like." Some kids grinned, others looked puzzled. Jamie's friend Leo nudged him. "Let's sit by the window," he said. Jamie started to follow, but then he noticed Maya, who usually sat with the girls, hesitating nearby. She glanced at Jamie and Leo, then back at her friends, uncertain. Jamie remembered how Maya had beaten everyone at chess club last week, including him. He waved her over. "Hey, Maya, want to sit with us?" Maya's eyes lit up. "Really? Sure." They found a spot at a table where Sam, who liked to wear bright scarves, was already unpacking his lunch. Sam smiled shyly. Jamie grinned back. He liked Sam's stories about his pet lizard. As more kids sat down, Jamie felt a little nervous. Usually he only sat with boys. But what if others thought it was weird? But Maya was already talking about her latest drawing, and Sam was offering carrot sticks to everyone. Jamie felt his shoulders relax. Maybe this mixed-up table wasn't so bad after all. Lunch started out fine. They traded sandwiches and talked about the science fair, but soon Jamie noticed something. When Leo started to joke about soccer, Sam looked uncomfortable. "What's wrong, Sam?" Jamie asked quietly. Sam shrugged, playing with his napkin. "I'm not really into soccer," he said. "I like drawing and lizards better." Leo made a face. "That's kind of weird for a boy," he said. Not unkindly, but loud enough for everyone to hear. Jamie frowned. Maya rolled her eyes. "What's weird about it? I like soccer and drawing and lizards." "Here's what you like. Sam's stories are cool. I wish I had a lizard." Sam looked up, surprised. Maya grinned. Leo mumbled, "Yeah, sorry, Sam. I didn't mean it." The table grew quiet, but it was a comfortable quiet. Jamie felt proud. He said how he'd felt, even though it was hard. After lunch, Miss Carter called out, "Who wants to help stack the trays for the recycling contest?" Usually only the boys ran up to help, racing to see who could build the tallest tray tower. But today, Maya and 2 other girls joined in, along with Sam. Jamie looked at Leo, who shrugged and said, "Why not?" They gathered by the sink, stacking trays and laughing while the piles wobbled. Maya balanced trays like a pro. Sam cheered every time a pile stayed up. Jamie noticed that everyone was working together, no matter if they were boys, girls, or didn't care about those labels at all. When the last tray was stacked, Miss Carter clapped. "Best teamwork I've seen all year." Jamie high-fived Maya and Sam. Leo grinned. "Guess anyone can be good at tray towers." Maya stuck out her tongue and everyone burst out laughing. Jamie felt lighter than he had all week. That afternoon, Jamie walked home with Leo. The sun was warm and their shadows stretched along the sidewalk. Leo kicked a pebble. "Sorry if I was weird at lunch," he said. "I never sat with girls before, or with Sam." Jamie nodded. "I get it, but I think it's cool. We all like different things. It makes lunch more fun." Leo smiled. "Yeah, Sam's lizard stories are funny, and Maya's good at everything." Jamie laughed. "Not everything. She can't whistle." They both tried whistling and giggled when neither of them could manage more than a squeak. At home, Jamie told his mom about the mixed-up table and how he'd spoken up. She ruffled his hair. "That took courage, Jamie. I'm proud of you." Jamie grinned, his cheeks warm. He realized it felt good to stand up for others and for himself. That night, Jamie curled up in bed as his mom opened a storybook. She read about a girl who wanted to be an astronaut, even though people told her it was a boy's job. In the story, the girl built rockets out of cardboard and studied the stars, and eventually she flew into space. As his mom finished, Jamie thought about his day. He remembered Maya laughing, Sam's quiet smile, and the way the lunch table had felt like a team. He hugged his pillow. "Mom, do you think anyone can do anything?" His mom smiled. "I do. The important thing is to be kind and brave and to help others be themselves." Jamie closed his eyes, feeling safe and hopeful. Tomorrow, he knew he'd sit with whoever he wanted, and maybe, just maybe, he'd ask Sam more about his lizard. After all, everyone deserved a place at the table.
Nicely done. Nicely done. We all needed that. Excellent. Please rise now in body or spirit again for number 1023 in the teal hymnal, the skinny one. How could anyone? Oops. Sorry, 1053. Now, I'm getting a little bit of, there we go. Now, it's my privilege to tell you a little bit about our next guest. Esme Rodriguez, PhD, goes by they, them pronouns, and is the Equality Florida Senior Manager of Professional Learning, and has been an 8-year transplant to Florida after living in beautiful Minneapolis, Minnesota. They are currently creating Equality Florida's very first statewide interfaith initiative. Esme, who goes by Ez, works with leaders and congregants of all faith traditions to ensure every person feels respected, restored, renewed in their respective communities. Ez has a master's degree from Boston College and studied their PhD at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis. Their personal and professional goals are to form coalitions and relationships that aid in breaking down systems which create and maintain oppression, violence, and inequality. They also taught gender studies and Latin American literature at the university level for 13 years. Ez also enjoys vegetarian sushi, downhill skiing, NFL, and college football. Go Broncos, go Gators. Please join me now in welcoming our speaker for the day, Esme Rodriguez from Equality Florida Institute.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias a todos. My name is Ez. That's my nickname. Esme, but Ez is good. And as Lori said, my pronouns are they, them in English. Uso ellos en español. I work with Equality Florida. I've been here. I've survived 8 Florida summers because I am a polar bear coming from Minneapolis. I love the snow. So it was a bit challenging, the weather down here when I first got down here. But because I'm here, I've got to meet wonderful people like yourselves. And I really am enjoying my job with Equality Florida. I've grown so much as a person, personally and professionally, with the agency. So right now I'm the Senior Manager of Professional Learning. And just this year in March, we launched our first interfaith initiative. And Nadine, our former CEO, called me last October and said, Ez, we've been talking about this initiative for a while now, and I think you're the one to lead it. And I said, you do know that I'm a recovering Mexican Catholic who's agnostic at the moment. And she said yes, and she said, because you fit nowhere, you fit everywhere. So that felt really good to me, and I took a few days and I thought about it, and I thought, I think this is the right position for me right now. So I've been excited, and we officially launched in March. I've been touring the state, meeting with different faith leaders from different backgrounds and traditions all over Florida. I was just in Key West 3 weeks ago, so that was amazing, speaking with their Interfaith Coalition. I've been all the way up to Duval and Jacksonville, Gainesville, over to Fort Lauderdale, Tampa Bay area, because I'm based in St. Petersburg. And I've just met the most amazing people. And what our mission is in this Interfaith Initiative is threefold. The first thing is that we want to connect people who are doing great work across the state and faith communities, because sometimes the people in Southwest Florida don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. Key West feels left out when we go to Tallahassee on our Pride at the Capitol days, right? So we really want to get everyone together to be able to work together. And one way that I've envisioned this with folks is to make sure that we have an Interfaith Advisory Committee in 2027. So that will entail getting together folks that are faith leaders from across the state 4 times a year, and I will convene them on Zoom calls. And they can come together and share their challenges, their joys, what's going on in their community, and share different resources and talk about different opportunities to do boots on the ground work for social justice. So that's one thing that we're thinking of. The other thing, which I hope you'll join us at, is we're going to have our first ever dedicated Pride at the Capitol Day. That's during legislative session, which starts March 2nd of 2027 and goes for 60 days for faith leaders and congregants. We think that, having folks come up and meeting with their legislators and saying, I am a person of faith, I'm a faith leader, and please, this bill does not help all families and children in Florida, or please vote for this bill because it does. It really supports all our families and children in Florida. I think that's a powerful thing, because what I've been getting the message from different faith leaders is people are already doing good work like yourselves, but they want to take that next step. They really want to be deeply ingrained in the work that we're doing at Equality Florida. So we listened, we put out a survey, sent it out to over 350 congregations of different faiths across the state. And from what we got back, we listened, and I'm trying to put some of those plans in motion. So thinking about the theme of your service today of diversity and inclusion, because we can still say those words no matter what, right? I put together a little piece about belonging, so I hope I can share that with you today. So I want to begin with a simple word today, belonging. Not just allowed to be in the room, not just being welcomed at the door, not just being told, of course you're welcome here. I mean something deeper. Belonging means to be able to walk into a community and think, I don't have to hide here. I don't have to explain why I am the way I am. I don't have to wonder whether people will see me as less worthy, less faithful, less loved, or less human. I can be fully myself here. That is what we mean when we talk about creating a faith community where LGBTQ+ people truly belong. And today, I want to talk especially about living our values, faith communities for LGBTQ+ inclusion. Because most of us have values that we deeply care about. We value respect, kindness, trust, compassion, community. We value supporting one another through the difficult seasons of life and our challenges, and also supporting people with their opportunities. And we want to ask ourselves, what would it look like if we lived those values so completely that LGBTQ+ people could experience them here too? not simply as an idea or a statement on a website, but the way we speak or listen, the way we welcome people, and the way we want to learn, in the way we respond when someone tells us who they are, and the way we stand beside people when the world has not always treated them with dignity. For many LGBTQ people, the journey to find a faith community has been complicated. For some, religion has been a source of tremendous love, meaning, and spiritual grounding. But for others, faith communities have also been places where they experienced rejection. Some have been told that their identity is sinful. Some have been told they're disappointing God. Some have been pressured to change who they are. Some have lost friendships or family members. Some have been excluded from worship, leadership, sacraments, ceremonies, or other parts of community life. And some have simply learned over time to keep a part of themselves hidden. Imagine what that does to a person. Imagine being told explicitly or implicitly that the person you know yourself to be is incompatible with the spiritual life that you cherish. Imagine being a teenager wondering whether you can tell anyone who you are. Imagine being a person wondering whether your congregation will embrace you at all. Imagine loving a faith community and realizing that the community does not know what to do with you. Those experiences can leave deep wounds, and we should not minimize those wounds simply because we may wish the past were different. But there is something beautiful that can happen next. Healing can happen through belonging. When a person has been harmed by a community, it often takes a welcoming community to help them heal. Sometimes the first step is remarkably simple. Simply learn their name. Use the name and pronouns they have asked you to use. Listen without trying to debate their existence. Say, "I'm glad you're here," or notice when they're having a hard day. Someone invites them to participate or treats their partner or spouse like they belong as well. Someone doesn't make them into a project to fix. Someone simply sees them and says, "You belong here." That kind of belonging doesn't mean that we will always get everything right. In fact, we won't. There will be things we don't understand, some language that we haven't learned. We may accidentally say the wrong thing. We may not know what a particular acronym means. We may have questions about gender, sexuality, identity, or experiences that are unfamiliar to us. And that's okay, because inclusion isn't about being perfect. Inclusion is about becoming willing. Willing to listen, to learn, to apologize when necessary, to grow, willingness to let someone else's experience expand our understanding of the world, and especially willing to believe that people sitting beside us are experts on their own lives. I think this is where our shared values become especially important. Let's start with respect. Respect means we don't require people to earn the right to be themselves. We don't need to understand every aspect of someone's identity before we treat them with dignity. We can begin with the basic truth that every person carries an inherent worth. And if our faith teaches us that every person is created with sacred value, then LGBTQ+ people don't have an asterisk beside their name. They don't have to become someone else before they are worthy of love. They are already worthy. Then there is kindness. Kindness can sound small, but small acts of kindness can have enormous consequences. Learning someone's pronouns, including someone's partner, making room at your table, not laughing when someone makes a joke at another person's expense, speaking up when someone is being mocked, and simply asking, "How can I support you?" These things tell people you matter here. Then there is trust. Trust takes time. And for someone who has been hurt by a religious or faith community, trust may take even longer. We cannot demand that someone immediately trust us because we've said we're welcoming. We build trust through consistency. We build it by doing what we do over and over again. We build it when our welcome is still there after the first visit, when they're there 6 months later, when someone comes out, when someone transitions, when a family simply changes, when someone asks us a difficult question, and when someone tells us that something we said hurt them. Trust grows when people discover that our values are not merely words. This is how we live. And finally, there is support. Support means we don't simply say you're welcome. We ask, what would help you thrive here? What does a young LGBTQ+ person need from this community? What does a trans person need to feel safe and respected here? What does a parent need when their child comes out? What does a couple need when they wonder whether their relationship will be celebrated here? And what does someone who has been wounded by religion need in order to take the second risk of trusting a faith community again? We don't have to have every answer today, but we can be the people who are willing to ask. And there's one more important piece of this. Inclusion's not only about LGBTQ people. It's about who we are becoming together. Because when we practice welcome, everybody learns something. We learn to listen. We learn that people's stories are more complicated than the categories that we may have grown up with. We learn humility and compassion. We learn that community is not created by everyone being identical. Community is created by people being different and choosing to care for one another anyway, and that's a beautiful thing. And perhaps that's one of the greatest gifts LGBTQ+ people can bring to a faith community. The reminder that human beings are wonderfully diverse and that love is bigger than the boxes that sometimes we build around it. So what might it mean for us to live our values? It might mean learning more about the LGBTQ+ experience on our own or through learning experiences. It might mean becoming more thoughtful about the language we're using. It might be sure that our facilities, programs, leadership, and traditions communicate welcome. It might mean celebrating LGBTQ people not just during a particular month, but as part of the ordinary life of your congregation. And it might mean having the courage to say that we don't know what to do, but we want to learn. That sentence is powerful. We want to learn. Not that we know everything, not that we've always done it this way, or why can't you just fit in? We want to learn how to love our neighbors better, and that sounds like a spiritual practice. And I want to say something directly to anybody sitting here who is in the LGBTQ+ community. Maybe you're completely comfortable being who you are. Maybe you're still figuring things out. Maybe you're trans or non-binary. Maybe you're a parent, grandparent, sibling, friend, or ally of someone who is. Maybe you've been hurt by a faith community before. Maybe you've been wondering whether there's a place for you in religious life. I hope you hear this. You deserve a community where you don't have to choose between being the honest person that you are and being connected with your faith. You deserve friendship, respect, dignity, joy, to be accompanied when you have grief, and you deserve a community that understands that belonging isn't something that you have to earn. It is something we create together. And to everyone else here, I want to offer an invitation. We don't have to be afraid of getting this wrong. We can choose to be curious instead of defensive. We can choose listening instead of assumptions. We can choose kindness instead of judgment, or we can choose courage instead of silence. And when we make a mistake, as we will, we can say 4 wonderfully powerful words. I'm sorry, I'll learn. Then we keep going, because the goal isn't perfection. Our goal is love made visible. There is a wonderful phrase that says essentially that we're called to love our neighbors, but loving our neighbors requires us to actually know our neighbors, to hear their stories, their joys, their struggles, to make room for them. And sometimes loving our neighbors means shifting our own perspectives so that our neighbor can experience the welcome that we thought we were already providing. That's what living our values looks like. So I want to leave you with a picture. Imagine someone walking through these doors here for the first time. Maybe they're nervous, maybe they've been away from a church or a fellowship or a community of faith for some time. Maybe a previous congregation told them they were not welcome. Maybe they have spent years wondering whether they could ever be within a faith community where they could be completely themselves. And then they walk in here. Someone smiles. Someone learns their name. Someone introduces them to a few people. Someone doesn't stare when they mention their spouse. Someone gets their pronouns right, and if they don't, they correct themselves and move on. Someone asks about their life or invites them to coffee. And little by little, something begins to happen. Their shoulders relax. They begin to feel safe. They begin to trust. They begin to participate. They begin to laugh and form friendships. And one day, perhaps, they realize, I belong here. That moment is sacred. That is ministry. That is community. That is faith with skin on it. And that is something we can create, not just for LGBTQ+ people, but for anyone who's ever wondered whether there's a place that they can come as they are and be met with love. So I challenge you to be that kind of community, which I know you already are. Let us be people whose welcome is more than a slogan. Let us be people whose values are visible in our actions. Let us be a community where respect is practiced, kindness is ordinary, trust is earned, and support is freely given. Let us become a place where LGBTQ+ people, including trans and non-binary people, don't feel merely tolerated. Let us become a place where they know they're wanted, where they know they're valued, they're safe to grow, their gifts matter, and where together we can discover something wonderful. That when we make room at the table doesn't become smaller, the table becomes bigger. There's more room for love, more room for understanding, more room for joy for all of us. May we have the courage to keep making that room. May we have the humility to keep learning. And this gives us the promise, and we promise to others, to consistently walk with and to walk beside LGBTQ+ members and neighbors, and to forever hold open the door. Thank you.
As you were speaking, I just remembered when I was a teenager, and I said to my parents, "Will you still love me if I wear purple tennis shoes?" It's a long story. It's now time for our offering. Our offering is one way we practice generosity and shared care. The gifts we give, in whatever amount is right for each of us, help sustain this fellowship and support the values we are called to live. Welcome, justice, compassion, and community. If you would like to contribute today, there are several ways to give. You're welcome to join when we go with this. If you would like to contribute today, you can place your donation in the baskets as they are passed by the greeters. You may mail a check to the office, place one in our mailbox, or contact the office to make other arrangements. You may also give through Venmo using UUFCC offering. As the baskets are passed, we invite you to receive the offertory music for reflection and gratitude. This will be Eleanor Plunkett by Edie and Scott. to have such talented and kind musicians. As our time begins to draw to a close, let us gather the spirit of this service and carry it with us into the week ahead. As Patrick comes up and extinguishes the flame. No, actually, Lee's going to extinguish the flame, and Patrick's going to do the rest.
Yep. Yeah, as Lee extinguishes the flame, as we extinguish this child's flame, may its light remain within us. May it guide our steps, strengthen our courage, and remind us that the work of love, justice, and healing continues here and beyond these walls.
Thank you, Patrick. Our closing words are by Andrea Hawkins Camper. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is the answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do. This is the call we are answered now, to be the barrier and the bridge, to be the living embodiment of our principles and values, to be about the work of the beloved community, to be a people of intention and a people of conscience. Please join us in the closing music, Let It Be a Dance, number 311 in the Gray Hymnal.